Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Jen Sugarmeyer, your host of Mindset in the Morning, and we are here live 5 days a week at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. But this is YouTube, so you can tune in whenever you would like. And this week, we've been talking about some lessons learned, some observations that I had while I was working at this convention this past weekend. And so that is what we are focused on. But we are here first, we are here live every single day talking about mindset because the mind is the most important, powerful tool that you have. And we're so conditioned as a society we talk about mind, body, soul. It's the holy trinity of health. And we know we need to exercise. We know we need to meditate. We know we need to get into our, souls and take care of ourselves. But what are we doing for our mind? That's right. It's like the brain is a muscle and we need to be exercising it every single day, just like the body. And when we do, when we exercise our bodies, then we're more flexible. We're able to go through life. We extend the duration of our lives in many times. And so that's exactly what we do with our mind as well. And so it's so important that we understand what we have, and it helps us to navigate through life. And to be completely candid, I didn't understand the power of the mind for 35 years of my life. I just turned on the news and whatever was happening, I would react to it. And somebody would cut me off as I drove into work and I would just react to it. And I would see my coworker and they were like not really good at their job and I would judge them. And it was a lot of negativity that was happening within me. And what I realized is that what was happening on the inside of me was impacting the outside. So I was angry. I was frustrated. I had resentment. I had stress. I was anxious. I was fearful. I was all of these things. And although I didn't think that, what's happening on the outside, that's okay. I can just shove it down. I can just shove it down and it's not going to impact anything. Well, I was wrong. It was impacting everything in my life. And as soon as I started to understand my mind and take control, get in the driver's seat of my own life, I got a promotion. I started to be happy. My relationships deepened. There were so many benefits that came out of just me becoming in tune with who I am. And so it happens. It happens to the best of us. So many of us get disconnected from who we are, or we're not standing in our power as much as we could. And so that's why we talk about all things mindset. So if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because that helps us reach more people. And that is the goal of the show, is to reach as many people as we can so that they too can understand the power of their mind. So let's get rolling. We're going to talk about expectations today because expectations can, they can kill your confidence. They overall, they're going to have a negative effect on your life. What are expectations? And of course, so many of us, we walk into things, and I was watching Shrek a couple of weeks ago. In fact, we did a whole week where we talked about some lessons from Shrek. And Fiona, when she was getting saved, because she's the princess that's up in the highest tower, she has this expectation that her shining knight or whatever, her prince, is going to come in and save her in a certain way. Well, Shrek comes barreling through the rooms like, come on, let's go. She's like, this isn't how it's supposed to go. And how many times do we get that way in our own lives where we say, it's not supposed to be this way? I thought I was going to be married by the time I was 20 or 30, not 20, 30, maybe 40. I don't know. 40 is the new 30, which is the new 20. I don't know. But I thought I was going to be married by a certain time. I was going to have this many kids. I was going to this, I was going to that. And we have these expectations of what things are going to look like, just like Fiona did. And what happened? She was like, hold on, let's do this over again. And Shrek's like, I don't have time for your little expectation games. He doesn't say this, but this is what he's saying. He's like, princess, there's a dragon out there. We don't have time to do all this. I don't know what's in your head, what you're expecting, but I'm just trying to keep us alive. So we got to go. So what happens to Fiona? She's disappointed. She's like, I've been dreaming about this thing for so long. My prince was going to come and save me, and yet it didn't happen. Does that sound familiar? Expectations are wants. their wishes, their hopes. I went into this conference that or this convention, and I could have very easily put expectations out there. I expect to make this amount of money. I expect to have this many people attend my speech. I expect whatever. And I absolutely could have set those expectations, but I don't control them. No matter how much I think about things, just like Fiona, just as much as she thought about, oh, my prince is going to come in and save me in this certain, gallivanting, charming way. They're just wishes, they're hopes. And so what happens when we are putting all of our energy into a hope, into a wish, into a dream? We set ourselves up for failure, for feeling not good enough when things happen. Because the truth is, the universe is going to decide how many people are going to come to my speech. The universe is going to decide how much money I am making. Now, I can give it my best effort. I can go tell everybody 3:30 I'm on stage, come buy my thing. This is going to save your life. I can do as much as I can. But what if instead of setting these expectations, we start to just enjoy the process? And we start to put our energy and our time into doing the very best that we can. It's a shift. It's a mind shift from putting ourselves and our time and our attention into the tangibles, which is the number of people sitting in my speech, the amount of money that I'll be making, and saying, okay, I'm going to give this my all. I'm going to do the very best that I can. And then at the end of the day, I can look back and say, I gave it my all. Or maybe I say, you know what? I didn't give it my all and I could have hustled a little bit harder. But I did. I gave it my all. And I look at people that are putting so much time and energy and effort into these expectations of things that are tangible. I expect this. There was a woman that was close, that was in proximity of me, and she had expectations of how many people were going to be there, of the amount of money that she was going to make. And so it was getting close to the end of day one, and I was having a chit chat with her mom, and she said, boy, she's really disappointed. And I thought, man, I'm having a great day. I'm having a great time. And yeah, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get disappointed if, you aren't making the level of money. But if you are putting all of your time and attention and saying, my level of success is defined by these things that I don't control, then that's not a realistic expectation. It's out of your control. That's saying, hey, universe, you are in control of my happiness. Universe, you control if I'm successful or not. Universe, you control if I'm good enough. That kind of seems like you're flipping a coin. Okay, universe, did you? Oh, nope. Okay, then I'm disappointed. But we own, and we've talked about this, you own everything that's in your life, everything, your happiness, your success, your outlook, everything. And so you get to define that. So if you start to define your level of success, your expectations on these things that are intangible, just enjoying the process. Hey, you know what? I'm going to go into this convention and I'm going to learn as much as I can. That's a good goal, because guess what happens when you learn? Then you grow and you can do better the next time. I'm going to go do the very best that I can and learn as much as I can. And I'm going to know next time some things that I can do better. I went in there not even knowing how to have a conversation with just a passerby, just somebody who's just like walking through. And I'm trying to sell services in 5 seconds. You get 5 seconds to talk to somebody. Hey, would you like your life to be better? Like that literally could be an opening line. Hey, I'm selling happiness and peace over here. Would you like some? Like, they're not candles, it's not jewelry. It's not like I have to say something where you're going to be able to see something that I don't have. It is not an easy thing to do. So selling services to people, helping them to understand, hey, you should understand the power of the mind in 5 seconds is not easy to do. In fact, it was probably much harder than I anticipated it was going to be, or much more challenging. I had no idea. And so I was trying different things. I'm like, I have happiness and hope. If you're interested in that, it's over here. If not, that's fine. you know, or hey, have you ever tried personal development before? That's another way. And I would just try these different things. And I said, I'm just going to go do the best that I can and try all the things and see what works, see what resonates with people. And I think I got a better idea. I mean, I didn't perfect anything, but I sold books, I sold shirts, and I was really happy with the outcome. My speech, look, I was at the end of the day. In fact, the entire thing was probably different than I would have expected, which is why I easily could get in the trap of expectations. There was a little bit different clientele than I anticipated being there. Okay. So there's that. But that's okay. Still going to make it the best that I can with what it was. So my speech was at the end of the day, which I don't know, could be good, except the influencers were speaking in the middle of the day. So I was at the end of the day. There were some people that were sitting there, but was it a packed house? No. But you know what? Afterwards, I got some really good feedback. Some really good feedback. Some of the vendors that were set up and they were around, and I had people that came over and they went to my booth. And so I could have very well said, this many people need to be sitting in my audience for me to feel successful. Or I could say, did I do a good job? I spent all week working on this speech. I worked with this coach up in Wisconsin. He's a speaking coach for Tony Robbins, for Grant Cardone, for Pedro Adejo, for Pete Vargas. This guy is the guy. And I went up and I worked with him and I got my speech crafted and I was ready to roll. What if I just focused on that? And even that, I think I did really well. In my mind, I realized some areas where I could do better. So yeah, there were people sitting in the audience. That was great. Yes, I got practice on the speech. Yes, I got great feedback. Yes, I sold some stuff after the speech. So I didn't have, it has to look one way. I went out there and said, I am going to do my very best. And I walked out of there and I felt good. I felt really good about the weekend. And you know what? I'll be honest. It cost me more to do there, to be at that, because you have to pay for your space. So it cost me more to be there than I made. And you know what? It's okay. I didn't have any hang up over it. I learned. I know next year, maybe that's not the right convention for me. If they're going to bus in that clientele, then maybe that's not where I need to be spending my time and effort. But I had a great time. I still learned a lot of things. So that's what I want to impress onto you today, is to think about where you are putting your time and energy into things that you don't control. Their wishes, their hopes, their dreams. Now, you may have goals. And what do we do with goals? We set out a path. It's like a project management plan. What do we say? Goals need to be SMART. They're specific, they're measurable, they're actionable, they're reasonable, SMART, and they're time bound. So goals we create SMART goals. If you're familiar with SMART, you've probably worked in corporate or had some boss at work that was familiar with the SMART action plan. But they're time bound, they're goals. And what happens if we don't meet our goals? We shift and we change, just like with project management plans. We, oh, okay, you know what? Instead of 3 weeks, this is actually going to take 4 weeks because we realize that, some of these things took a little bit longer, but we have a little more control over them. We've already mapped them out what they're going to look like. There's no way I can walk into a convention and say, I'm going to make this much money when I don't control how much money people are even willing to spend there. Are people looking for my services? Are people, I don't even know how many people are going to be there. I don't control those things. So I can't create an action plan around things that I don't control. Do you see the difference? So you can have goals, say, this is what it's going to look like, and you plan them and you go for them. But expectations are wishes. And that's where we get disappointed. We get disappointed when we are putting things out there into the world. I wish my shining knight would come and save me in this certain way. And then when your shining knight comes and saves you, how much better would it be to just enjoy the moment and say, wow, I finally got rescued, instead of saying, but not in the way that I wanted it to. Learn to let go of expectations, and you are going to see how much more enjoyment and fulfillment you get in life. It is going to elevate, and you'll become more present with where you are. I'm just enjoying where I'm at, not focused on this goal, on this wish, on this expectation, on the hope. You learn to just enjoy, be here. You start to live in gratitude. You start to find the lessons where you can improve. This is where the magic is happening, right here and right now in your today. It's the only thing that you can control, is your emotions right here, right now. If you are stuck in the future, I expect to have this much money, I expect, then we're living in the future for something that we don't even control. But you control you right here, right now. So what is it today? What is it right here, right now, that you can find that enjoyment, that fulfillment? Start to look at the intangibles, the things that you can't hold, the lessons, the joy, the gratitude, the silver lining. That is where you're going to find peace and enjoyment. And it's going to help elevate your confidence, because you're going to feel better about yourself. When we aren't hitting these expectations, if I went in there and said, I'm going to make $1 million and I didn't, would I feel less than? Yeah. What if I just went in there and said, I'm going to do the best that I can with what I have, and I'm going to go enjoy myself, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to grow? And guess what I did? I walked out and I was successful, because those were my goals. I didn't make $1 million, but that's okay, because I never set that as my expectation. I didn't have that going in. I instead focused on the intangibles. So today, as you go out into the world, I want you to focus on the intangibles, how you can grow, how you can find the joy, the gratitude, the silver lining, the lessons, and focus on those things. And you'll see how much more enjoyment you are getting out of life. So we're going to end it there. That was one of the things that I thought about as I was in this convention, which was a great experience this weekend. So I hope that has helped you in some capacity. I always love to hear feedback. So feel free to email me at jen.sugarmeyer@gmail.com. And if you've not yet hit that like button, go ahead and do that now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. That helps us reach more people. It helps this algorithm. And ultimately, that's what we want, is to help each other, because all ships rise with the tide. So I will see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow. Love to hear from you. And if there's a topic you want to talk about, go ahead and email jen.sugarmeyer@gmail.com. All right. Have a great day. Cheers.